The Right Honorable Mark Carney, Prime Minister of Canada, Shri Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of the Republic of Bharat, Honorable Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I welcome you all to this ceremony where we shall witness exchange of several agreements and MOUs. These documents reflect the wide-ranging bilateral cooperation as part of India-Canada strategic partnership. We will begin with the exchange of 3 MOUs, namely the MOU on critical mineral cooperation, the MOU on promoting the use of renewable energy, and the MOU on cultural cooperation. These documents will be exchanged by the Honorable Anita Anand, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Canada, and Dr. S. Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister of India. We next have the trilateral MOU between India, Canada and Australia on cooperation in technology and innovation. This document will be exchanged by the Honorable Narendra Sidhu, Minister of Export Promotion, International Trade and Economic Development of Canada, and Dr. S. Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister of India. The next 2 documents are Terms of Reference for Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement or CEPA and the Declaration of Intent on Joint Pulse Protein Center of Excellence. These documents will be exchanged by the Honorable Narendra Sidhu, Minister of Export Promotion, International Trade and Economic Development of Canada, and Shri Piyush Goyal, Minister of Commerce and Industry of India. We next have the Department of Atomic Energy Cameco deal on supply of uranium ore concentrates. This document will be exchanged by the Honorable Scott Moe, Premier of Saskatchewan, and Mr. Tim S. Gitzel, President of Cameco on the Canadian side, and by Shri Dinesh K. Patnaik, High Commissioner of India to Canada.
There you go.
The last document is the MOU for Global Link Research Internships. This document will be exchanged by His Excellency Mr. Christopher Cooter, High Commissioner of Canada to India, and Shri Dinesh K. Patnaik, High Commissioner of India to Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the exchange ceremony. I would like to inform that Prime Minister Modi will be addressing the media in Hindi. Members of the audience may use the audio device provided to listen to the translation in English language. I now request the spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs to conduct the rest of the proceedings.
Namaskar, good afternoon. The Right Honorable Mr. Mark Carney, Prime Minister of Canada, Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, Honorable Ministers, members of both delegations, distinguished guests and friends from the media. We will now have the press statements. May I request Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, to give his remarks to the media.
The Right Honorable
The Right Honorable Prime Minister Mark Carney, delegates of both countries, friends from the media, namaskar. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Prime Minister Carney to India. This is his first visit to India as Prime Minister. We view this visit as an important milestone. Last year, at the G7 summit held in Canada, me and my delegation were warmly welcomed by him. I am pleased that today I get the opportunity to welcome him with the same warmth and affection to India. There are very few people in the world in whose CV there is a mention of leadership of two central banks. From our very first meeting itself, there has been a new energy, mutual trust, and positivity in our relations. I give the entire credit for this increasing momentum in every area of cooperation to my friend, Prime Minister Carney. Friends, India and Canada firmly believe in democratic values. We celebrate diversity. Welfare of humanity is our shared vision. And it is this very vision that inspires us to move ahead in every area. Today, we discussed about transforming this vision into a next level partnership. We have set ourselves a target to reach $50 billion in trade by 2030. Unlocking the full potential of our economic cooperation is our priority. And that is why we have decided to finalize the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement at the earliest. This will create new opportunities for investment and employment in both countries. Canada's pension funds have invested $100 billion in India. This demonstrates their deep trust in India's growth story. Today, we will also be meeting the business leaders of both countries. Their suggestions will help give shape to our economic cooperation roadmap. Friends, in technology and innovation, we are natural partners. With Canada and India Innovation Partnership, we will turn ideas into global solutions. I express my gratitude to Prime Minister Carney for Canada's invaluable contribution in the success of the AI summit held in India last month. Besides AI, we will enhance cooperation in areas such as quantum computing, supercomputing, and semiconductors. The MOU signed on critical minerals today will strengthen resilient supply chains. In the space sector, we will connect the startups and industries of both countries. Friends, for Prime Minister Carney, environment is not a separate topic, but a part and parcel of economic stability. In the area of energy, we are fostering a next-generation partnership in which, besides hydrogen, special focus will be laid on renewable energy, green hydrogen, and energy storage.
We are pleased that Canada has taken a decision to join the International Solar Alliance and the Global Biofuel Alliance. In order to take our shared efforts forward, we will organize an India-Canada Renewable Energy and Storage Summit this year. In the area of civil nuclear energy, we have concluded a landmark deal on the long-term supply of uranium. We will also work together on small modular reactors and advanced reactors. Value addition in agriculture, agri-technology, and food security are our shared priorities. To this end, an India-Canada Pulse Protein Center of Excellence will be created in India. Friends, our increasing defense and security cooperation reflects our deep mutual trust and the maturity of our relations. We will work on increasing collaboration between our defense industries, increasing maritime domain awareness and military exchanges. For this purpose, we have decided today to establish an India-Canada Defense Dialogue. Friends, the true strength of our relations lies in our people-to-people ties. Today, we have taken several important decisions to strengthen them. Today, partnerships are being announced between several universities in the area of AI, healthcare, agriculture, and innovation. We also agreed that Canadian universities could set up their campuses in India. Indigenous and tribal communities are an important part of our shared cultural heritage. An MOU has been signed today on increasing cultural exchanges between both sides. Friends, for India, Canada is an important partner in the Indo-Pacific. We welcome the interest Canada has shown in becoming a dialogue partner in the Indian Ocean Rim Association. This will give greater depth to our maritime cooperation. We agree that terrorism, extremism, and radicalization are common and serious threats, not only for our countries, but for all humanity. Our close cooperation to fight these are extremely important for global peace and stability. India's views on the various conflicts taking place in the world are clear. We have always called for maintaining peace and stability. And when two democracies stand together, the voice of peace is further strengthened. The situation at the moment in West Asia is a matter of great concern for us. India supports the resolution of all disputes through dialogue and diplomacy. We will continue to work together with all countries to ensure the security of all Indian citizens present in this region. Excellency, your visit has strengthened our cooperation across all sectors. I express my heartfelt thanks to you once again for your deep commitment and visionary approach towards India. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I now request the Right Honourable Mr. Mark Carney, Prime Minister of Canada, to give his remarks to the media.
Thank you very much. I will make my remarks in English and in French. And may I begin by thanking you, Prime Minister Modi, for the generous hospitality that you have extended us here in New Delhi, you've extended my ministers as they've visited, and the spirit of partnership with which you've approached our relationship since we first spoke in my capacity as Prime Minister last June. And as you mentioned, a few weeks later, you made time to come to the G7 summit in Alberta, Canada. 5 months after that, we met in Johannesburg at the G20, and now, today, the first bilateral visit of a Canadian Prime Minister here in 8 years. In the intervening months, our foreign ministers have been busy. They've met 5 times. 4 of my ministers have led delegations here to India. Provincial premiers have been here, including today. There has been more engagement between the Canadian and Indian governments in the last year than there has been in more than 2 decades combined. So, this is not merely the renewal of a relationship. It is the expansion of a valued partnership with new ambition, focus, and foresight, a partnership between 2 confident countries charting our own course for the future. In the last decade, let's just reflect on what's happened. In the last decade, under your leadership, Prime Minister, India has become the fastest growing economy in the world. Per capita incomes in this country have risen at a pace never seen in history. Seldom in human history. The most ambitious projects in clean energy, in the digital economy, in biofuels, in the next generation of artificial intelligence talent are all here in India. Prime Minister, Canada shares such ambition and your sense of purpose. Comme l'Inde, le Canada voit un monde en profonde transformation. Comme l'Inde, nous savons que les certitudes qui ont structuré le commerce, la sécurité, la finance et la diplomatie pendant plus d'une génération ont été renversées. Et comme l'Inde, nous reconnaissons que le système multilatéral sur lequel nos 2 pays ont longtemps compté est mal adapté aux défis de notre temps. We both know that nostalgia is not a strategy, and that those who succeed in this new era will be those with the confidence, the ambition, and most importantly, the partnerships to build a more inclusive, sustainable, and prosperous future for all our citizens. And I believe the prescription for success in this new era is well exemplified by the theme of your G20 presidency in 2023, which I had the honor of attending. That theme, of course, one Earth, one family, one future. Because the challenges of our age cannot be solved by one country alone. And only by building on the principles of one Earth, one family, one future can we forge the partnership worthy of our countries. Reconnaissons que nous partageons une seule terre, nous renforçons notre collaboration en matière de climat et d'environnement. Le Canada prévoit de doubler son réseau électrique d'ici 2050 et d'accroître considérablement le déploiement des énergies renouvelables et du stockage de l'énergie. De son côté, l'Inde est une chef de file mondiale dans le domaine de l'énergie solaire à grande échelle, les technologies de stockage d'énergie et d'autres formes d'énergie renouvelable. C'est pourquoi le Canada et l'Inde tiendront cette année un sommet sur les énergies renouvelables réunissant l'industrie, les investisseurs et les décideurs publics afin d'élargir et de diversifier le commerce des technologies propres. Et nous bâtissons, à partir de maintenant, un partenariat énergétique pour un avenir plus durable. India is a country whose demand growth for energy is projected to double by 2040. And to meet that demand sustainably, India plans to increase its renewable capacity by 500 gigawatts by the end of this decade, and to almost double the share of LNG in its primary energy mix over the same period. Canada is well positioned to contribute as a reliable supplier of the world's lowest carbon, responsibly produced LNG from our west coast. As India seeks access to critical minerals for its manufacturing, its clean tech, and its nuclear plans, Canada's resource base and world-leading companies position it as a strategic partner. As one example, the nuclear agreement, the uranium agreement signed today. As another, the fact that 40% of the world's mining companies are listed in Canada. Today, we are launching a strategic energy partnership with significant potential to expand bilateral energy trade. We've signed, as you've seen, a new critical minerals partnership spanning development, processing, and secure supply chains for clean energy, electric vehicles, and advanced manufacturing. We're deepening our cooperation in clean energy, expanding collaboration across wind, solar, and hydrogen. Because Canada has big plans as well. We plan to double our grid by 2050, and India can be a major partner in this expansion. As you've seen, the government of India and Cameco have signed a major $2.6 billion uranium supply agreement supporting India's nuclear ambitions and our shared commitment to clean, reliable baseload power. All of these agreements, under one planet, are beginning of a new prosperous relationship that will offer generational opportunities for workers and businesses in both our countries, and which will protect the planet for future generations. Secondly, we are one family. The greatest, most enduring strengths between Canada and India are the families who call our nations home. Nearly 2 million Canadians trace their roots to India, including leaders in business, science, culture, and government. Tens of thousands of people travel between our countries every year to visit friends and family. 400,000 talented Indians study in Canada. That is twice the number in the United States. It is 4 times the number in the United Kingdom. These students, these connections, deepen our ties. And so we're collaborating to build on those strengths. We've launched the new Canada-India Talent and Innovation Strategy with 13 new partnerships to deepen our ties in education. And this includes collaborations involving McGill, the University of Toronto, University of British Columbia, to work across artificial intelligence, health sciences, and digital architecture. Notre partenariat va propulser des centaines de chercheurs canadiens et indiens grâce à des projets de recherche conjoints de pointe. Nous lançons de nouvelles bourses et de nouveaux programmes de fellowship pour l'Indo-Pacifique afin d'accroître la mobilité universitaire et de former la prochaine génération de talents. Over the longer horizon, the Prime Minister mentioned a moment ago the $100 billion of investments already in India by our pension funds. Those pension funds have $2 trillion in capital. They're already some of the largest foreign investors here. Potential for significant growth, particularly given the scale of the infrastructure build in this country. And thirdly, we share one future. That's why we're forging deeper ties in frontier technologies from AI to space. At the G20, India and Canada signed a landmark trilateral partnership with with Australia on AI and critical minerals. And we've already identified key sectors such as digital infrastructure, semiconductors, electronics manufacturing, and high-performance computing. With the agreements today, we're going to expand our collaboration between the Canadian Space Agency and the Indian Space Research Organization on Earth observation, on climate monitoring, on generating the data that powers agriculture, disaster response, climate resilience across the Indo-Pacific. And our partnerships will be reinforced by the strong foundations we are building in trade and defense. We're advancing towards a Canada-India comprehensive economic partnership agreement with the aim to conclude by the end of this year. This ambitious agreement will reduce barriers, increase certainty, unlock opportunity for exporters, investors, and workers in both our countries with the aim to double trade by the end of this decade. And we're renewing defense and security cooperation through a new defense partnership, through maritime collaboration in the Indo-Pacific, through professional military exchange, and practical coordination and cooperation on our shared security interests. One of the things that has always struck me in Prime Minister Modi's stewardship of this country has, well, India becomes a great power, the focus has remained on all households, ensuring that all households benefit from the progress. So give an example. The Ujjiwala scheme, which provides liquefied petroleum gas for tens of millions, actually hundreds of millions of rural and low-income households. Cleaner cooking fuels, reducing pollution, saving lives, and reducing costs. Or another example, and I speak under the control of the former Governor Das, I should say. It's always tough to give up being a governor, isn't it, Governor? But the revolution in digital payments to provide income support, crop insurance payments directly to individuals, but the spillover benefits are enormous. And part of our agreements is to explore an ability to cooperate further so that Canada benefits from this innovation. The bigger point is that our partnerships from energy to AI share this spirit so that Canada and India can harness technologies, deliver equally transformative benefits to hundreds of millions of people. Now, to close, we're charting a future of one Earth, one family, one planet, or one future. And I was reminded as I was coming here, as Swami Vivekananda, of course, one of the greatest philosophers. And more than a century ago, I hadn't realized this until I read it, but he, in his travels, spent time in both Vancouver and Winnipeg. And in his travels and his texts, he personified this maxim: arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. With this partnership, we will advance, we will not stop until the goals of Viksit Bharat 2047 and Canada Strong are reached. It moves us forward, it builds our prosperity, it builds for all, and it builds for a better world. Thank you very much for your listening.
Thank you, sir. That concludes the press statements. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your presence.